I'm Larry Ray, President and CEO of American Manganese Inc., listed on the TSX Venture, ticker symbol AMY, A-M-Y, with proprietary patents in the U.S., China, and South Africa. Our focus is on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. China recently legislated the responsibility for recycling onto their electric vehicle manufacturers and importers. For more information, please visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
GEM International is a new diamond explorer in the richest diamond producing country in Africa, located next to the fourth largest producing diamond mine in the world. International Spotlight is on an 1109 carat diamond recently discovered in Africa by a fellow Canadian junior with a proven operator and finance team. GEM International trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol GI. Visit us at gemdiamondmining.com.
Welcome to the Goddard Report. Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Wayne Coulson, CEO of Coulson Flying Tankers. Wayne, welcome back to the Goddard Report.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Jim.
People are wondering, why is the Mars water bomber still not being used against all these monstrous fires all along the west coast of North America and into the interior?
You know, I think, Jim, the market has decided, and the customers, it's their time to move on to different types of aircraft, newer generation aircraft, which is, as you know, we have two C-130s currently in the new U.S. Forest Service fleet of firefighting air tankers, and for the most part, I think the Mars has done its mission over the last 57 years.
It's kind of sad that an airplane that can put out 4 acres of fire at a time isn't being used when people are still crying for help. So apart from people deciding that something that's 70 years old can't be used, would it still have been a very useful piece of firefighting equipment?
Well,
and still is it?
Of course, we think it has, given the site-specific area that it's worked in, around lakes, water sources. We were just down in Lake Shasta the other day, and in Northern California, we were on a fire down there in 2008 where we're flying on average 150,000 gallons a day, which is a significant amount of volume, but we were just in the right place at the right time, and that's where this aircraft really shines.
Right now, it looks like it's going to become a flying museum piece. A lot of sadness about that. It
is, and now the pressure is turned as a company and as, the owners of this aircraft from making it really a cost-effective firefighting aircraft to, knowing that we have to do something and find another home for it, whether we can sell it to an owner that would continue to fly it or lease it to another company that may see another niche business that it can be put into. But we have these aircraft in top-notch condition. They're pristine aircraft given the age, and of course they were the largest World War II warbird. They are the largest airplane ever built during the World War II era.
Well, that's right. You have 2 of these Mars aircraft. What are they doing right now?
Right now, actually, the Hawaii was out flying the first time today here in Port Alberni, and we're preparing to take it down to the Oshkosh Air Museum, where we have the largest air show in the world with 700,000 people. And we'll be working the show every day, and we're pretty excited. And it's the theme's gone from kind of showing what it'll do in fires to showing what it'll do for people that just been looking to see it and then haven't seen it. We have people from all over the world that have traveled to come and see the aircraft. So we're going to have it on display, and we're excited to show aviation fans this aircraft.
Wayne, now you're going to give people a unique opportunity to get their hands on the real deal to fly a classic World War II aircraft with modern avionics. Can you maybe explain what the new future of the Mars water bomber is going to be?
Well, we've offered up. We've had so many folks from all over the world inquire about flying it before, not knowing its destiny and where it's going to end up. So for the month of August, we have a program called the Ultimate Flying Experience. And it's very similar to what we did with the Chinese test pilots a couple of years ago, where a 2-day course where they'll come in and do a little bit of water taxiing with the aircraft and learn about it. And at the second day, they'll get to take it up with our flight crew for an hour and actually fly the airplane around Vancouver Island. So, we've got just about a dozen people throughout the world that's coming the month of August to come and fly the aircraft, and we're excited to give people that opportunity.
What kind of qualifications would a person need to fly that airplane?
Just to have a pilot's license. We can't take passengers, but as long as they have a pilot's license, they're going to be able to jump in that seat and ride beside our captain.
Do you need multiple engine qualifications?
You do not. No, all you need is a pilot's license.
Now, what are they going to experience when they put their hands on this thing? There's no hydraulics or power steering on it, right?
No, there isn't. They're actually going to feel what a heavy airplane. And, this aircraft, when we're scooping, and of course it'll be empty, but it'll still weigh around 110,000, 115,000 pounds with fuel. But we're going to do a scoop with anyone that comes and where, you land at 115, 120, and then you lift off at 155,000 pounds 32 seconds later. So it's a real thrill, to be in that aircraft. And, people are really excited to participate in this, in the 2-day event.
What kind of experience would it be compared to flying, say, your regular little Cessna or maybe a twin-engine Beechcraft?
Well, for one, you've got 3 other flight team members with you. You've got the captain plus the 2 flight crew in the back that run the motors, actually. So it's certainly a team effort to fly the airplane. And, just the absolute enormous size of it. And, the wingspan is actually longer than a 747. So if you can imagine yourself out there flying a 747 around, the Mars isn't a lot different.
We'll have more with Wayne Coulson right after the break.
I'm Larry Ray, President and CEO of American Manganese, Inc., listed on the TSX Venture, ticker symbol AMY, A-M-Y, with proprietary patents in the U.S., China, and South Africa. Our focus is on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. China recently legislated the responsibility for recycling onto their electric vehicle manufacturers and importers. For more information, please visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
GEM International is a new diamond explorer in the richest diamond producing country in Africa, located next to the 4th largest producing diamond mine in the world. International Spotlight is on an 1109 carat diamond recently discovered in Africa by a fellow Canadian junior with a proven operator and finance team. GEM International trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol GI. Visit us at gemdiamondmining.com.
In Goddard we trust.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Wayne Coulson, CEO of Coulson Flying Tankers and the boss of the monstrous Martin Mars water bomber. Wayne, without governments around the world now requesting the use of this giant firefighting aircraft, what do you think the future of this thing is going to be, and could it ever be called back again?
For the most part, we deal in most countries in the world that have wildfire problems, and I think the market's done for this airplane now. It just had such a successful season, over its 57 firefighting years, and so many wonderful people that have put the tender love and care into the aircraft, that, it is over. It's life as a firefighter. And now we've turned our mind to other things that we could do with it. And, other than offering it to, folks like we're going to meet with the aircraft here in Oshkosh, it's very limited, and it is a very niche airplane. I mean, it's the largest seaplane in the world. So, we're hopeful, other than museums, that of course that's a little easier task for us to work with, because there are several out there that have inquired about acquiring the aircraft. We'd really like to turn it over to a company or a business that could find a home for it and continue to utilize it, because it has so many years of life left.
Why is it that the Martin Mars, when other airplanes would have been retired decades ago, is still able to fly safely?
It goes back to, several factors. I think that the people that bought the airplane originally, the big 5 timber companies, hired excellent aviators to maintain and look after the aircraft. They put many safeguards on the airframe to protect it. They did extensive maintenance on the aircraft over the years, so money was never an object. And the fact is, they're just a great airplane. I mean, they served for the U.S. Navy 100,000 flight hours before they went into firefighting, and safe operations. They never had an incident. So it's just an absolutely wonderful airplane.
What kind of power does this thing have? I mean, obviously you need a lot of horsepower to get something that large up and flying.
Yeah, the engines on the Hawaii Mars are 2,500 horsepower engines, so we got about 10,000 horsepower on the wing. And in the olden days, when they used to put maximum loads in it, they had JATO bottles on the aircraft to get it to lift off. But for the most part, with the horsepower it's got, it's pretty fascinating, considering, that airplane was designed in 1930s and built in the early 40s.
Now, people have asked me, why wasn't it used to fight the Fort McMurray fire? A lot of excuses were given. Do you think it could have been used there?
Every fire is so site-specific, and part of trying to ensure that you don't have a large wildfire is getting it out when it's small on initial attack. So, at that point, the airplane was, for the Mars, it was in its maintenance cycle, and we didn't have a contract for it. So, everything, of course, is pre-planning, no matter what we do, and especially in the world of wildfire. So, it got into something that was just so unique and devastating that I'm not sure at a point in time that any aircraft would have been able to support the folks in Alberta, because it just got away on them, and it just became a fire unto itself.
Now, locally near Vancouver, there's a marshy area called Burns Bog that's made up mostly of peat moss, which we know once it gets on fire, it's very hard to put out. We had a fire there, and I remember covering the Martin Mars, fighting another fire in that bog that had burned for months, and within a few days it had the fire under control. Were you disappointed the aircraft wasn't called in to fight the latest Burns Bog fire?
Well, again, Jim, we were in for maintenance, so we weren't available. And, you just thank God that there was no structures lost or injuries or deaths in any of these fires. And, and it's funny as you kind of look at it. I mean, there's not many places in the province of BC that the Mars hasn't fought fire. So everybody keeps rolling back to, you remember the day when the Mars was here. And unfortunately, that's just going to be, it's just going to be a distant memory here of the performance, and because it's just such a loved aircraft, and it's done such a wonderful job.
What have firefighters told you about how they feel when they see it flying overhead?
It's pretty much the same all the time. It's like John Wayne coming over the hill, it's like the Duke. The biggest and the best, and of course, as far as we're concerned. And it's sheer power. The fact that it can carry a massive load of 7,200 gallons. So people are excited when that airplane's out there. And one of the things, that volume of water, and it puts fire out. I mean, that's what the aircraft has always done, and that's what it's famous for.
The former fire chief of Ladysmith, BC on Vancouver Island, Murray Davidson, said he liked the ability when he was a fire chief to get a hold of provincial officials and have that plane called in to attack fires near his community before they got out of hand. And right now, Vancouver Island is under kind of a drought alert right now. And he wishes that firefighting officials, local ones, could call in a resource like that.
Yeah, and then, that's a pretty common theme, I would say, from most of the mayors on Vancouver Island, just because we've had all the experience. For the most part, we haven't had, the devastating fires that, other parts of the province have had, because we've had such a resourceful tool, and it really has helped the firefighters. And, when you look at, Dog Mountain that we had in Alberta, that's started out like every fire, small. Well, if you get it when it's small, you don't have to worry. You get it, you kill it, and you move on. And, that's been the magic of the airplane. It's usually been, I fought several fires, as we owned timberlands over the years where it was one or two drops and we were in cleanup. So, we've experienced it in our family, on our own woodlands, several times, unfortunately. And fortunately we had the Mars because, it got the job done.
If someone was interested in learning how to fly the Mars and take part in that unique program, how can they get a hold of you?
If they go to our website at www.ultimateflyingexperience.com, there's a bit of an overview and what the 2-day course is and the pricing, and then we have a way to contact us for the folks that may have interest.
Would something like that be videotaped?
We haven't. We do have cameras all around the airplane, and we're thinking of GoPros. And we're thinking of actually hooking them up. One of our clients has asked for that. So there is GoPros in the cockpit.
Wayne, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Great. Thank you, Jim.
My guest has been Wayne Coulson, CEO of Coulson Flying Tankers. You're listening to the Goddard Report on TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Find us on Twitter at TalkDigitalNet. Our popular YouTube channel is Talk Digital Network. Questions for the show can be emailed to info@howstreet.com. I'm Jim Goddard. Thanks for listening.
Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. The Goddard Report is available online and mobile at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. The Goddard Report is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.